I know what time we went on air. Um, yeah, man. It's sad. It's a sad day, and you know that Lamar Jackson plays. I mean, I know his goal is to beat every team, but I think he likes to embarrass Cleveland in every
And it's
game.
a division game. We always play division games a little more hard, a little more rougher. It's gonna a little be more physical, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Can we withstand the physical though? Everybody is soft. I mean, they soft as drugstore tissue.
Soft batch cookies.
Yes,
Remember those? That was so good.
they was. They
I
was.
don't know if they make those anymore though.
No, but I think them Tate's cookies took over. I don't know. They be so good, but they have they soft. They soft, and um Dylan. It's obvious he can't see. He cannot see over the center. Period. He can't see over the line. I'm convinced of that. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. You cannot tell me nothing about will it be sure. They can't see him. They see him coming everywhere he at all the time. He don't move. He don't shuffle his feet. He sit in the pocket too long. I don't know what y'all want me to say about him other than he is worthless right about now. And I'm over his experiment too. Do I want at this point to see Shador in the mix? Not really, because at this point we insane to think that it's gonna be something different, and then they gonna be on his back because what you got a 0-3 start. You them did like no.
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. You got the same terrible O line. You have no run game. You got the same OCs. Keep going. Like, what are we doing here? And we got drama. And you just about what did I read today that Deshaun they about to make a decision about Deshaun coming back?
Yeah, he probably won't. I don't know if you play him this season if he comes back. Because
Well, he
unfortunately,
know he wants to be QB1 because it's more glory.
and
It's more glory, more glory, more glory. I'm tight, more glory. So you cannot not play him at $46 million. You got to put QB1 back out there.
there's a lot of Deshaun defenders.
So let me say this. I was excited for Deshaun to come. And I thought so, but I'm a systems girl too. And I also felt like he did not fit this system. I don't care who you bring in to work with him. This is not where he's good at. Period. So then you got a dysfunctional leadership team
Hmm.
that doesn't help. So I don't fault him. You know what I mean? Who knew that he was gonna get hurt twice? He was gonna be a bust. We was gonna have people not catching plays. You gonna play for this one? Y'all was gonna keep this controversy going, and then that y'all was gonna have QB killer coaches. Who knew that? You have no leadership.
Hmm. They said that Hugh Jackson was a quarterback whisperer, and that Kevin has a system for quarterbacks and for success. Well, you didn't see that with Baker. Baker had to leave and go to a couple more organizations, and then he became a successful quarterback. You haven't seen that with Deshaun Watson, and he's injury prone because he's had 3 seasons end due to injury. So they didn't pick right there. You was able to strike gold for a couple of games with Joe Flacco. Brought Joe Flacco back in again and got rid of him expeditiously. He went to Cincinnati and really hasn't had he's had success. It hasn't translated into winning games, if that is what you determine by successful. But he's been able to put up almost 400 yards because he has receivers, something
Correct.
Cleveland doesn't.
Correct.
Um, you have the jersey with over 40 names on it, I think now. So, this
I think we
tenure,
have 43 now. I think 43 or 44 names.
and that's including Dylan.
Yes.
Okay, all right, gosh, that's ridiculous. One of the things that this team lacks is a winning culture, and one of the things is you saw that culture exposed when the team picked sides when it came to the Baker and the Deshaun Watson. Not Deshaun Watson, excuse me, when it came to the Baker and Odell Beckham, dust up. I guess you got to side with your quarterback. That was your number one draft pick and stuff like that. But I look at it as this should have been something that should have been worked out, and they didn't handle that well. They don't handle injuries well. They
They
didn't
don't
handle
handle
Baker
anything
injury
well.
well. Huh? What'd you say?
They don't handle anything well.
And that's the thing, this dysfunction of the organization. Now you have Jimmy Haslam saying he learned about culture from the Pittsburgh Steelers. You notice Pittsburgh Steelers have only had
Three
four,
coaches in how many years?
yeah,
3 or 4
over 20
in
years.
right.
About four starting quarterbacks. You don't hear like Antonio Brown was just, he has issues.
Yeah.
Doesn't really get out, until the very end. So if we're learning about organizations, you could take some notes from the organizations within your own division.
Right.
Baltimore Ravens, coaching consistency. Started off with, Joe Flacco, then, drafted Lamar Jackson. They also know how to draft too. So Andrew Berry, finally hit on the draft. He hit on this draft, which is great. But you didn't hit on the quarterback. But I look at it like, okay, was there really anybody that they could have drafted that would have been successful, this draft? I don't know. Maybe they had their shot at Jackson Dart, but he's hurt now too. So now, New York is the Giants are on quarterback number 3 this opening up this season.
Right.
So, there's just so many opportunities where things could have been done better. You think about Jared Wills, how bad his attitude was, and that's not buying into the culture. That's not buying into your job, not buying in your team, not buying into winning. And you have a lot of people on that team who've done a lot of losing, especially those linemen, but they come back week after week, before Joe Thomas, decided to retire, played every snap, almost had an opportunity to go to the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning talked to him, but I think he wanted to roll with the winners, but part of him didn't, leave Cleveland. And I think the organization didn't want to part with him. So, you have that right there. So, it's just a whole organization. And from top to bottom, it starts at the very, very, very top. And then it goes down to the bottom. Everybody's talking, is Kevin and Andrew Berry a deal? Are they the pair? Do you get rid of Kevin Stefanski and keep Andrew Berry? What would you do, Stacey, at the end of the season if you're the owner of the Cleveland Browns?
Kevin definitely would be gone. I would like to see what Berry does without Deep Podesta here. You know what I'm saying? Now that he decided to go back to the worst team in baseball. Like, why did he come here anyway? After having so many years in baseball, why did he decide to come to football, come over and think he could change the culture in Cleveland? Well, whatever.
And he wasn't a visible part of the culture. He was in San Diego.
But he was calling, but he was making decisions and running stuff from there.
Right, exactly. Which, you should be all in. You should be living in Cleveland, doing things for Cleveland. You should be a presence. If you want to build a culture, everybody has to be there. Everybody has to be part of, building that culture. One of the things that made me mad last season was when I watched Deshaun Watson, put Instagram pics from Miami instead of rehabbing in Cleveland. And I'm watching Dak Prescott limp and crutch to every game to be there with his team. You in the booth calling plays on, well, not calling plays, but you in the booth, with the other coaches, doing this, doing that to keep your guys, motivated. They still suck, but you doing everything you can do to instill a culture within that team.
Correct.
And we watch, we watch what's his name again? Deshaun Watson, excuse me. We watched Deshaun Watson, taking pictures on cruises out of the country and all that other stuff. He's been here this season, but that just shows where your culture is. Your quarterback don't want to be here rehabbing. I think that's ridiculous. I think everybody should be forced to be in a facility every day with the team, injured or not, unless you just coming off your surgery. And as soon as you able to walk and crutch and stuff like that, you
You
should be
should
with
be
them.
there, right?
That shows he hasn't bought into the culture and he don't care.
And it shouldn't be optional.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be optional.
Yeah, it should be mandatory. Absolutely mandatory. Because that's your quarterback. This is the guy you paid $235 million to, and he's not here with your team as a leader. That shows your leadership skills too. They suck. And maybe the team doesn't believe in you to lead. Maybe you shouldn't have brought him here because he told you no initially. He said, I don't want to come here. But then you guaranteed $235 million at him.
Guaranteed.
And then he like, okay, I'm coming. And it's failed. Since the very beginning, you have a lot of Deshaun defenders like, well, Deshaun dropped that pass. He can't throw it to himself and catch it to him too. But also you have to account for the injuries as well. He hasn't been able to finish the season. So, now 3 years in a row, we have to stick the injury tag, the prone to injury tag on him. It's sad.
It's so
And there's no
sad.
answer, Stacey. I don't have any answer for what this organization can do to make things better. You're already rebuilding. You're already pretty much in
And
tore down
how many years are we going to be in a rebuilding phase?
every year.
Because y'all can't possibly think you're going to take this product over to a new stadium
Oh, yeah.
and think anybody is going to pay for it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think that's what they want to do.
Ain't nobody going to pay for that. Them tickets are ridiculous for the new stadium.
Yeah, them PSLs. Because I'm going to text my friend because they live in another city or whatever. And him and my friend and her brother, they own, I don't know if they have PSLs or not. I know they got season tickets. And, they're not able to every game. But I'm wondering, are they going to do this again, this year as well? For the new stadium or whatever.
So I know so many people that are giving up their tickets this year. And
really?
Yes, are giving them up, and because they sent out another survey and asking, and people is letting them have it because are you serious? Like, I can't even believe you sending out these surveys. I can't believe that you even want to set the ticket price. I can't even believe that this is a conversation with what we got going on. Haslam, I have said it for as many times. You don't know football.
Mm-hmm.
Period. You don't know football and you just have money. And you keep putting people around you that don't know football, or if they do, you not listening to them, because there's no reason that you would have Kevin Stefanski as your head coach still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he kind of was given a job, no head coaching experiences. And I'm so sick of them hiring these head coaches with no coaching experience.
No experience. And
but
1
who wants to come
year
here?
OC experience and all that. Just like I was talking to somebody about Tommy Reese. They like, well, it couldn't be no different. He called plays at Alabama. And I'm like, and you said all that to say what to me? Because what I just seen out there last week was nothing different than when Kevin was walking around with that Denny's menu in his hand.
So Kevin definitely probably about to lose his job because there wasn't no better. And that move right there was a desperation move, or whatever, because the thing is, you don't have the talent to execute. And that's the thing. You don't have the talent at quarterback. Dylan Gabriel, I was willing to give him a fair shot, but he doesn't possess the ability to be a franchise quarterback. And Kevin, thinks he has the ability to do, but what have you done to develop him? And that's the thing.
He don't have no leadership skills. Like, I don't see nothing that you do that rallies this team. I have watched them. I've watched the interactions with them. Like, even when they playing around, and they do too much of that too, you can't even effectively communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So I am over this whole experience, this experiment, and all that comes with it right about now. It's hard. I couldn't even imagine the guys on a weekly basis not to be defeated. Especially like the rookies. When you like, I could not be like Jenkins. Why are we not using him more? You came from Ohio State where you know you gotta win. If you lose, it's consequences probably for losing. To come lose every week and that's a norm and they okay with it and it's just like business as usual. Oh well, we like lost. Skip across the field. Let's smile and go on to the next week. Yeah, no, that's not acceptable.
Yeah. It's just move this team again. That's where I'm at right now. Move this team again, come back with something better. Call me in 2 years when you got a different product out there because it's sad. And this
It's
is
real
this
sad.
is what I signed up for. And I'm rolling with it. This
Yeah,
is
but
what I
I'm
signed up
tired of hearing Kevin week after week, like we got to do better. We got to be better coaches. We got to get better. We got to run the game better. We got to run the ball better. Like I probably could give him his speech.
Yeah, yeah. You just had a tape recorder out because they like the media's like, why even do press conferences anymore? Because he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything worthwhile. He doesn't say anything different.
He
You
don't
know,
even see. My thing is, you supposed to be the leader. You have to take some accountability, and it can't be like I got to coach better. We got to do this. We got to do that. No, what are you doing? I have yet to see what is the plan.
there's
Can
no
we
plan.
get a plan of what is the plan?
They riding by the edge of their seats because even when they halfway do something good and it wasn't good, it was ugly. Dylan Gabriel's touchdown ball to Jerry Jeudy, it was underthrown, and Jerry Jeudy actually made a catch, which is a shocker, a miracle catch. That was by accident. It wasn't on purpose.
It was not on purpose. That's for sure. Rachel, you know how much the tickets are to get in the stadium this week?
$6.
Okay.
Am I right? I
Mm-hmm.
saw it earlier.
6, 9 to go just to get in the stadium.
Pretty soon the seats to get it into sit at the
They
50
ain't gonna
yard
be able
line.
to get them seats away.
Girl, first look, I had some Browns tickets one time. It might have been 2011. I couldn't give those things away. Somebody called me after halftime talking about I want them. I'm like, well, the game is over now. But I tried to give them away on Facebook. Nobody wanted them. You know, I had to take my 6-year-old niece one time to a game because nobody wanted to go with me. Yeah, man, it's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
now they all like, yeah, let's boycott. Let's be in the muni line. What? Go stay at home. It's cold. Stay at home. Cause for what?
Yeah. It's a waste. It's a waste for fans. You don't go there,
It's
and then you
sad.
already know
It's
you about to be blown out.
disrespectful. It's disrespectful, is what it is. Like you don't care. Cleveland fans are probably the best fans in the league.
Mm,
Like they're
yeah.
going to ride it out. And it's disrespectful to them what you do. It's just totally disrespectful.
hmm Now he's figured out how to be successful. Even though his business was handed down, from his father, Flying J or whatever. But
And he
why?
wasn't that successful at that because he had to get rid of that because he
That's
caught a
true.
case over there.
Ripping people off. That's true. Uh, yeah. Excuse me. Because he about to rip off Ohio taxpayers for $600 million. So yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a great point, Stacey. Um, but I'm just convinced that they Haslam Sports Group is not going to be able to find success in football, and maybe they should put the team up for sale
I
and
wish they would.
exit out of the football ventures of Haslam Sports Group, and sell it to somebody else who's going to stay on the lakefront. Who won't take because there's so many issues. $100 million isn't enough that they're giving the city to raise the stadium and build along the lakefront. They should stay in the city of Cleveland because they are the Cleveland Browns. They said one of the expectations with Richfield Coliseum when it was built so far from Cleveland and left the Cleveland arena and stuff like that was that they were going to be able to develop all this mixed use and retail around Richfield. And guess what? It never happened. And guess what? The Cleveland Cavaliers are back downtown where they rightfully belong.
Where they belong. Because, honey, I
So this
hated
team,
going out to
yeah,
that
this team needs to
Richfield
remain because how are
Coliseum.
people that work downtown that don't have cars? How they gonna get out to the stadium and work? I understand you have, there's a rapid, but the rapid could only hold so many people. You know how many people work at the stadium on the daily, on the basis.
Rachel, who wants to go? Listen, I don't be wanting to
Right,
drive out there. Okay,
right, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I may have to. You have to. Who wants to go out there every week?
yeah.
Parking is gonna be astronomical. Traffic is gonna be retarded, and to get a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't sit up in a rafter, so I ain't going. I can't afford to go. I
Mm-hmm. Nope.
cannot afford it. Okay.
Yeah, selling personal seat licenses for $100, $100,000. Excuse me, not $100.
I was about to
Um,
say no, ma'am.
let me self correct. Excuse me, friend. Let me self correct. 100 racks. And they're like, well, you get to come to everything first dibs, blah 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 blah.
And that
Most.
ain't even how it is. Like I know too many people that have them, and even in different cities, like they pay less, they have better stadiums, better amenities, better weather, all of that, parking,
Mhm.
and don't have the hassle that we did, and they don't pay us that much for it. They cannot sell nothing for $100,000 in Cleveland. You just can't do that.
Mhm. Yeah,
There's nobody's gonna pay for that. I mean, you're gonna be looking at the corporate people, your
yeah,
big
because they
money
said the
people.
dog
That's it.
pound is all
That's all
corporate
that's
people
buying
now.
that. People that's now that got PSLs, they paying that for that.
Yeah. Remember when they was throwing, dog bones on everybody and stuff? They like the dog pound is corporate now. You remember John Big Dog? I forgot his last name. They used
The
to wear the
dog
mask.
pound is very corporate with
Yeah.
them benches over there. I sat over there with my friend earlier in the season, and I was like, y'all ain't even loud over here. Y'all real bougie over here. The
Mm,
dog pound is not like that at all no more. You
right.
used to I used to be scared to sit in the dog pound. I'm like, oh no, I don't sit over there. No, girl,
Mhm.
go sit over there. You could
Girl,
have a
what I
newborn
would have been
baby
in the
over in
dog
that dog
pound.
pound. It is it's very bougie over there.
Have I
Okay.
been in the dog pound before?
Back in the day, I would never. Now, girl, please. They got benches over there. It's nice and comfortable. It's got an awning over there. Ain't nothing. Please.
Yeah, well, in a couple years, I, 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 I'm just at a loss for words about this organization and what's going on, and we having the same conversations every week about how bad they suck. The Jets was 1-6. They special teams. Like I'll keep saying, special teams has not been good since Josh Cribbs left. They gave
Honey,
up
that special
2
teams
touchdowns.
coordinator should have been fired in the
Oh
middle
yeah,
of the
Bubba
game
Ventrone.
Sunday. He
You
should
know,
have been fired in the middle of the game Sunday.
supposedly, he was, when he played, he was on special teams and all that other stuff. They terrible. There's no return game, to set your offense up in a good position. They always on the 20-yard line, having to go 80 yards to score, which is already difficult for an inept offense already. Now they got to go 80 yards. So it was just ridiculous to give up 2 of those in one game. And, defense, played the best they can, but when everybody not holding up the end of the bargain, you have situations like this. I'm scared of the massacre that Baltimore is going to come in and do to us.
It's
You
gonna
know,
be
this,
like when we went to Baltimore. What was the score? Like 30-3 or something like that.
girl, wasn't it like 40 something?
It might have been at some astronomical to our little single digit number.
Right, yeah.
I think that this team is defeated. I feel like they're at it has to change. They have to have new leadership because they're not gonna play for this. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing for Kevin. They're not playing for Dylan. They need to see something different. You know what I mean? And they're deflated. Period. They are deflated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but and it's sad because we still got more games to.
We have quite a few more games. Like we still got like 3 more home games. We got the 49ers coming. We
And
got the
there is no
Bills.
quarterbacks coming out.
Right. We got the Bills coming.
Oh God.
And Pittsburgh still has to come here. So yeah, we still got some stuff going on here.